We're going to talk now to the Labour MP and Chair of the Work and Pension Select Committee, Stephen Timms. Mr Timms, good morning to you.
Good morning, Victoria.
Now, look, the DWP is dealing with millions of new claims. It says it's processed at least 365,000 advance payments, which is a payment you can get within 24 hours sometimes, rather than waiting the 5 weeks for the first UC payment. Do you think their system is coping well?
Well, the IT has coped, and that is a good thing, and I think the department is entitled to be pleased about that because it could have collapsed under the weight of applications. The big question in my mind is, are people who are asking for an advance, who need money urgently, are they getting it urgently or not? Now, the figure you've just given suggests that only quite a small proportion of the people applying for universal credit have so far got an advance. Is that because they don't need an advance, or is it because the department isn't coping with the scale of the demand? I think the department probably is struggling to get the money out of the door as fast as they should do. But we are asking, the Select Committee is asking people for information about their experience of claiming benefits at the moment. The Select Committee website has got a news item on it which is headed MPs want to hear experience of people claiming benefits, and we'd really like to hear from people today or tomorrow about how things are going so that we can take these matters up with the department when we have ministers in front of us next week.
I mean, you will have heard Andrea, I hope, saying that she's never applied for benefits before, and she said she felt it was shaming. What do you say to that?
Well, it shouldn't be. The system is there to provide support. It's social security. Lots and lots of people are going to need it at different times, and more people than ever at the moment. And Parliament has put this system in place to provide the protection that is required. Nobody should feel ashamed about this. It's there for a very good reason. Everybody understands that at the moment, lots of people cannot work. They can't derive an income, and so universal credit is there to help. I just hope it's going to do the job well enough. The big problem about universal credit is that once you've applied, you don't get your first regular benefit payment for 5 weeks. I think that's a fatal flaw in the whole system. You can ask for what they call an advance. In reality, it's a loan.
Yeah.
We should enable you to get some cash quickly.
And I've never understood that, because that has been a criticism of the universal credit system. One of the criticisms. The government has responded to other criticisms and changed things. They did listen to that. Why you have to wait 5 weeks for the first payment if you can get an advance payment, i.e. a loan, on day one? Why not just give the first payment on day one? What's the rationale?
That's a very good question. I mean, the rationale was supposed to be that it was like getting your first salary check. You have to wait for a month until you get your salary check. That was the idea. But it assumes that everybody's got a month's pay in the bank when they apply. And of course, an awful lot of people have not. Ever since the 1940s, we've had a social security system that's been able to get people their first regular payment within a few days. And suddenly, with universal credit, you have to wait 5 weeks. It's not acceptable. It'll have to be changed. The Select Committee is carrying out an inquiry about this 5-week delay as our first major inquiry of this Parliament, and I think we're going to conclude it needs to change, and I hope the government will change it. At the moment, they're saying that even if they did want to change it, it would take ages because of IT difficulties, but I really think they've got to come up with a way round this because it's not fit for purpose in its current state.
Thank you very much, Stephen Timms, Labour Chair of the Work and Pension Select Committee. Work and Pension Secretary has responded to the numbers of people applying for help and how they're working to deal with them. Let's have a listen.
It's about 1.4 million people, and about 200,000 people have also claimed other kind of more historic benefits like job seekers allowance or employment support allowance. We've been working daily since the start of this to make sure that we can build the capacity, but also redirected a lot of our civil servants to make sure that we can process the claims so that people can get the financial support that they need quickly. For those people that don't want to wait the amount of time that we would normally pay universal credit, they've been able to get an advance of that money so they can get cash up front if that's what they needed.